The announcement came on Thursday evening on Syrian state TV.
On the occasion of al-Adha, the General Command of the Army and the Armed Forces announced the cessation of military operations on the soils of the Arab Republic of Syria as of the morning of Friday, 26th of October, until Monday, the 29th of the current month.
But the Syrian military said it reserved the right to respond to attacks by armed groups on the army, civilians and property. Leader of one of the opposition fighting groups, General Mustafa Sheikh, expressed a skepticism common to many.
To me and to my personal assessment, I don't believe that the ceasefire will hold. The regime is manipulating. It is one more means of manipulating the public opinion. The regime is trying to depict the revolutionary fighters as armed terrorist groups. Therefore, we are dealing with caution with the regime. As I repeated before, each faction and each brigade is responsible for its own command. However, we agreed in principle that all the brigades and the factions will observe the ceasefire, and we hope the regime will hold it.
And opposition fighters have conditions of their own. They want to see a mass release of prisoners, an end to the siege of Homs, an end to the air campaign, and no resupplying or strengthening of Syrian army forces. And they're also calling for an international observer mission to monitor compliance or violations. But the UN pulled out its last observer mission in August because it was too dangerous for them to be inside, and Syria is much more dangerous now. More than any fighting force, it's the civilians who need respite. Syria now has up to 2 million internally displaced running from the conflict. The UNHCR says it's standing by to deliver thousands of emergency packs to families in the provinces of Aleppo, Homs and al-Raqqa, considered to be especially desperate. The United States said both sides in the conflict now had to show responsibility and sincerity.
What we are hoping and expecting is that they will not just talk the talk of ceasefire, but that they will walk the walk, beginning with the regime, and we will be watching very closely.
UN and Arab League envoy Lakhdar Brahimi knows his initiative is modest, without the build-up of predecessor Kofi Annan's ceasefire.
If this humble initiative is successful, we hope to use it as a building block for talks on a longer ceasefire, and a ceasefire must be a part of a well-rounded political process.
But some of the more religious opposition brigades like Ansar al-Islam have already dismissed it, saying they won't commit to a ceasefire because they don't believe the Syrian regime will honour it. Anita McNaught, Al Jazeera, Antakya.